Hopefully, unfortunately, it seems like they're okay this morning, which is great news. It's probably not the best start that we were looking for. I'd suggest that's why we're supposed to read the instructions when we have pharmaceuticals in our hands. So it's a bit unfortunate for that doctor. I imagine he's all over the front pages this morning. But I just hope it doesn't break any confidence out there in the sector. There will be some bumps in the road, there's no doubt about that. And people will have adverse reactions to it that we probably won't see or not expecting. So I guess we're just going to have to ride through it, unfortunately. But like I said, the main thing is that those two elderly people seem to be okay this morning, so that's a good result.
Yeah, I mean, it is. There are going to be these bumps along the road. You rightly point that out. I mean, that's going to happen when you're basically vaccinating a whole country, but still, it's not a good start. Day 3, this doctor didn't even receive the proper training, though. So where do you lay your blame in this?
Well, I think the doctor has to take responsibilities for his actions or lack of, because one would think that he should have done the training and at least read the instructions. You know, I'm just grateful that it's the sort of vaccine that hasn't had a reaction or a negative reaction on those two elderly people. So I'm sure that would have been a lot worse this morning.
There are just 26 aged care homes that have received vaccinations so far. The hope was 240 by the end of the first week. Is that good enough?
Look, no. Oh, look, we really need to get it out there as fast as possible. I think, you know, in those controlled environments, it would be nice to see it getting a bit faster out there, I guess, especially for the elderly, those that are vulnerable, those first responders out there. So, look, mate, we'll just have to take each day as it comes, and it is a little bit disappointing. I don't know exactly why it's sort of slowed down or why they're not getting those shots out there, but the sooner we get them out there and get them moving and get people vaccinated, the better results we're going to have in the long run.
Should Linda Reynolds continue as Defence Minister?
Well, I hope Ms Reynolds is well this morning and that she's okay. I'm sure that we're all hoping that this morning. Look, if she has a health condition and it's starting to impact her, then for her own well-being, maybe she needs to stand down. I have said in the past I am terribly concerned about her strength up against those men, especially the ones with the big military medals that they're wearing out there, the CDF and that, and I've said that right from the start. I'm not sure whether she actually had the strength to take them on, and I still don't believe that, so I guess that's going to be her call and the Prime Minister's, but something needs to be done for, if for anything, for her own health.
Did she not have the strength or not having the willingness?
No, I don't think it's a willingness. Look, she is a former brigadier. She's an army reservist. You know, those men can be extremely overpowering if you do not know how to handle them. That's the environment in there. That's the way it is. You know, I was one of those first girls in combat, so I have no fear of those men. That's just the way I am. But they're big men. They can stand over the top of you. And honestly, if you do not know how to handle them, you are not going to be able to handle them. That's very worrying when a minister should be running her department and not the very top brass of the military running it. I can tell you that now. So something probably needs to be done.
Well, that's the reporting around this morning too. People have spoken to various papers that's saying that she just didn't have the strength to be able to push up against the Defence Force chiefs. And so that's something that you would be agreeing with, and she perhaps didn't realise that at the end of the day, as Defence Minister, she actually is the boss.
Yeah, I can tell you, those men right now, right at the very top, probably need a boot fair up their clacker, mate. And you're going to have some strength, especially as a female, and you have to have some respect. So that's the problem that you've got, and if you can't control those men, then we've got a problem here in the country, full stop.
Who do you think should be Defence Minister?
Look, I think that if I had my picks, I'd have to put Peter Dutton in there, to be honest, just from his background in policing. He's a big guy. I don't think you'd see Minister Dutton putting up with any of that sort of crap, certainly not from those men. So I think that would be, and that's probably the only one that you could put in there, to be honest with you.
So when it comes to Linda Reynolds, what's your biggest issue with how she's handled things? Is it about what happened to Britt Higgins, or is it about the Afghanistan war inquiry, the Brereton report, or is it about the subs deal with the French at the moment, which quite frankly a lot of people think stinks?
Yeah, I think, mate, well, you can all see what's going on here. She hasn't handled any of those situations very well at all. So that's pretty much 3 shots. That's very, very concerning. I think people have lost confidence in her. And that's now turning into an issue for her. And look, just for her own health situation at the moment, maybe it would be better off if she took a step down and sat at the rear for a little while until she can build either back up her strength or works out what she wants to do in her life.
Okay, just on to the media bargaining code. I know you're talking about this on your website, Jacqui. It passed through the Senate overnight. Do you have any concerns that Facebook is going to shut down news again, though, because they have threatened that they will?
Look, let's hope they've sorted it out. I'm not sure this was handled that well from the beginning either. That's terribly concerning. I hope not, because I know that those small businesses out there cannot afford to run those ads, mate. They're quite expensive when you're putting them across TV and newspaper, and that was starting to hurt those small businesses out there. It's a real shame. It's a bit of a catch-22 because there's journalists out there and their news spreads further and wider through the Facebook. And the other problem I'm worried about is if any of that money is actually going to get down to the bottom line for more cadetships and more journalists out there, because we could certainly do with them.
Josh Frydenberg must deserve some credit, though, wouldn't he?
Oh, well, I think it was a bit of touch and go. I wasn't behind closed doors with those negotiations, although I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall, mate, I'll be honest with you. So I guess we just see where it goes from here. But, you know, I just think for us, we would have preferred to have put a tax on it just to make it straightforward, straight across the board, and make sure that part of that tax was allocated down to the journalists and cadetships.